Okay, I wanted to do this video quickly before work. This chick, she was, I guess, really angry or upset because I was pointing out how colorism doesn't exist, and how I experience in my life how dark skinned black people use their privilege against me, and how there is no having it a little better just because you're brown skinned. In fact, you get attacked by both sides. I pointed that out. She was trying to talk about the same narrative. She has, she reads from some kind of script or something, and she assumes everybody has this kind of experience. I never said that dark skinned black women were jealous of me. I've always said light skinned black women usually express that type of behavior of being jealous. Now, what I did say was, in certain situations, I could see they could get me fired, they could get me into a place where I have to move to another place or suffer homelessness if I couldn't find another place. Thankfully, I could. Or get me beat up or get all sorts of different things happening to me. Like I said, I could not say and lie and say somebody said that I would that a dark-skinned black person was racist to me. I couldn't say that. I couldn't say that a dark-skinned black person was racist to me, even when they were, because nobody would believe me because I was lighter. They always get away with that. That's what they think in their minds, that they can get away with things like that. And this lady was so crazy that she thought that she could compare me to white people, saying reverse racism. I'm a black person. I'm more black than this individual is black, if they're black American. I mean, I have a very high percentage of African ancestry, mainly because I'm almost half Nigerian in ancestry. And I know people like to get that confused and think that means I'm half African. No, both my parents are from America and they are of ADOS descent. They just have a lot of Nigerian heritage. Anyway, I have a high percentage of African ancestry, so trying to assert that it has to do with white people or mixed people, I'm not a fucking mixed person. If you want to know who's mixed, this idiot is a mixed race person, okay? You are mixed, and the problem you have is that you're mad because you're dark and you think that your white ancestry didn't do you good enough. That's what you basically think. That's why you try to make other people who are lighter than you mix, because you try to assert basically that you have purity over others off of your dark skin, which is basically off of ignorance, because your dark skin doesn't mean shit. It obviously doesn't mean shit when you guys test 70% black and I test over 90% black while being so much lighter than you. Yet I know you wonder, why are you dark? I don't know, and it's not a bad thing to be dark, you know? You don't have to be angry and aggressive at people just because you're dark. But one thing you will not do is try and act like you're more black than me. That's one thing you're not, okay? You gotta figure out why you're dark and why you're at least 20% less black than me. Why don't you figure that out while you try and convince me, before you try and convince me, basically, that colorism exists. On another topic, she was trying to say that people who are colorists don't believe in colorism. No, sweetie. If I believed in colorism, I would think I was better than you. I'm just going to be completely honest. Why wouldn't I think I was better than you? Like, seriously, why wouldn't I? If I know that I have a privilege over you, it's better to be what I am than you, then of course I would be colorist if I believed in colorism, because I would think I was better than you. I do not think I am better than you because you are dark skinned and I am brown skinned. I do not think that. I do not have that perception. I see dark skin, light skin, brown skin, we're all in the same boat. The only difference and the only benefit anyone has when they are black is off of features. Okay? Some people who are black, whether they're dark, light, medium, will be perceived as mixed race or other races like Indian, Asian, and Hispanic, and maybe even white in some people's cases, or mixed with white, because of their facial features. It's not because of a skin tone. You could be any skin tone and look black, fully black for that matter, and people will perceive you that way. They will treat you that way. So as far as skin tone, I do not feel better than you. I do not feel like that is a signifying thing that makes me have a little something over you. And if I believed in colorism, I surely would think I was better than you. The problem I'm finding is this: you guys are always trying to make up for something that isn't a bad thing, okay? Because you think colorism makes you have a disadvantage or makes you less than, you are always trying to come up with a comeback. You don't need a fucking comeback when you're already beautiful the way you are. That's a problem. You have a bad mindset towards your dark skin, you know? And you don't need to have that mindset. You don't have to try and assert that you're more black than me because you feel like your dark skin is a bad quality and you're trying to turn it into something good. It's good as it is. You don't have to be like, I'm going to assert that you're a white person and talk about reverse racism. Like, as if you're talking to a mixed person. You're not talking to a mixed person. Know who you're talking to, you know? But that's just my perspective. It's just like, I do not appreciate when people try to like associate like colorism with people who aren't colorist. No. If a light-skinned person believes in colorism, if a brown-skinned person believes in colorism, what we're saying to you is that you're less than us. That's what we're saying. We're saying we're happy for what we got, and we didn't have to go through what you had to. And that's something that some light-skinned and brown-skinned people make up in their minds to feel better about their position as a black person. I don't have that view. Maybe it's because I was raised by a dark-skinned black mother who specifically said that colorism doesn't exist. And see, this is another thing. You were talking about perspective. Okay, you want to talk about perspective? Oh, you really want to talk about the perspective of dark-skinned black women? Or do you really mean to say you want to talk about the perspective of dark-skinned black women who agree with you? I think it is actually the latter. You want to hear about the perspective of dark-skinned black women that have the same perspective as you. You want to hear an echo chamber. That's it. You don't give a fuck about what other people experience. You don't give a fuck about what other people's perspective is on colorism. You don't give a fuck that it might be an insult to many dark-skinned black people when you act like colorism exists because you're making it seem like dark skin is a lesser trait. That's what I just don't get about people like you. Is that you guys say, oh, you don't want to hear one person's perspective. No, I hear all sorts of people's perspective. I watch all sorts of content from all sorts of different types of people. People that fall on the light skin side that are colorists and they're just trying to make up for their light skin. They're trying to make up for the being black, trying trash darker skinned people, but it doesn't do them any good. White people are still looking at them like they are as dark as Shaquille O'Neal. So I mean, they're just doing transference right there. But my point is that you are trying to say that dark skinned black people all have one perspective. That's not fucking true. I grew up with a dark skinned black mother. And my dark-skinned black mother said, you are delusional and you are narcissistic and colorism doesn't exist. You know why you're narcissistic too? Is because you guys act like you want to see everything that looks exactly like you. Who really looks around and says people have to have the same shaped nose as you, has to have the same type of skin as you? I already talked about this. Chrissie and people like Chrissie are mentally ill or something's wrong with them, because why the heck do you want this same exact image as you? Do you see any other race of woman doing that? Do you see white women saying, we have to have a white woman with the exact same 2B hair as I have and the same nose bump I got in my nose? Like, they don't do those things. You're the only weirdos doing weird shit like that, okay? I do not look around and say, like, for representation, I need someone with my exact nose bump, my exact skin tone, and my exact 4A hair. What next? Are we going to say we need inverted triangle-shaped women as well? Short women who are 5'1"? Like, I mean, like, come on now. You guys are so self-centered into yourself, thinking that people have to be like exact clones of your own image for them to match your image. Your image is a black woman's image. That's basically it, just like every other race. An Asian woman's image is an Asian woman's image. A Hispanic woman's image is a Hispanic woman's image. A white woman's image is a white woman's image. It's not that deep. You guys go so deep because you have some issues and some concerns with your own phenotype, and you need to work that out. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and bye.